Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your midweek Wednesday hump day Talking Town. It's of course the match day preview. I am your host, the Gov. Looking forward to sitting here for the next, determined length of time. Remains to be seen because let's see what we get through talking point wise. Obviously, we are at home this Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. Peterborough is the opponents. I'm going to be honest, not normally a game where I feel confident heading in. Do I feel confident? Let me know how you're feeling as we sit here on the Wednesday evening. As always, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, share to all your Ipswich Town friends, family, loved one, neighbours, anybody you encounter who you know is a Town fan. Just share the good word of Talking Town. One club, one community, one Ipswich Town. 80's first ding. Good evening, everyone. This time last year, Town were getting beaten 2-0 at the Valley. We were terrible that night. Hardly a shot on goal. What a difference a year makes. I might circle back to that to end the show, 80, with a interesting. Yeah, just suddenly come to me right now. Stephen Parry is also here. Rob Smith, welcome in. Charlton are the ones, they've just recently lost their manager, and still lots of you piling in the busy Talking Town Tavern. Get active in the live chat. As always, it's there for you to have your say on your football club. The GOAT is very confident, which I absolutely love about him, but he's always confident about anything. It could be 5-0 in the 80th minute, and I'm sure if one person would tell me we're going to win 6-5, it would be the GOAT. And when you've seen it all, why would you not? Let's be real. Right, let's get kicking with tonight. So what we got Fleetwood retrospect. One positive we can take from last Friday, so 1-1 into Saturday. January ticking closer, an area, a player we want to see brought in. Maybe we're seeing him this weekend. Johnson Clark-Harris obviously playing for Peterborough. And then, of course, Posh up next. Thoughts heading in, 1-11. The Posh threat, score prediction, jukebox, and anything else we find in between. We will kick things off, though, with a prediction league, as we do have that available to play. It is week number, can you believe, 21. Week 21 in the prediction league. It is free to enter, so do get involved. The games this week are Ipswich Town versus Peterborough, Cambridge versus Plymouth, Sutton versus Colchester United, England versus France, and Trimley Red Devils versus Hounsworth. As I say every week, a huge thank you to Matt Stannard, who puts this all together. Big, lots of love and respect to Matt for doing this. But he's also put a bonus question where he's called it a Bailey Clements bonus. If Bailey Clements scored in this weekend's match versus Dorking, we are to select a match and get a bonus number of points equal to the total number of goals in that game. I'm going to go for Town versus Peterborough. Let me know which game you think out of the ones I've mentioned you would go for. Joining me tonight is none other than the man, the myth, the legend. I feel like he's been on not so long ago, but then he kind of, comes and he goes, he comes and he goes. But this must be the second time in a... Is it nearly 2 weeks? Big fish. Tom Jane.
I think the squad of 24-25 that we've got are good enough to do something in this league.
Good evening, Tom. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
Good man. When was the last time you were on? It feels like not that long ago.
A couple of weeks ago, I think. On a
I thought it was
Monday night, I think.
Yes. Yes. With Lewis, am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we kicked off our Christmas film list. You brought the Muppets Christmas Carol to the...
That's it, yeah. I wore a Christmas jumper and I got a bit of stick for it, which I still don't agree with. But
no, I don't agree with that either. It's, at the moment that it turns the 1st of December, you should wear your Christmas jumper with you. If you have one, that is. I've got two. One I can never seem to find, and the other one, the penguin, gets fatter every year. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. How has the last couple of weeks been?
Yeah, it's been all right. Not too bad. It's been mainly cup action. Then, obviously, the Friday night game even. It's been all right generally. Just few okay results or one average result, but I'm not too worried about it. We'll go into all of that later, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm not too fussed. We'll be all right.
Yeah, England France in the prediction league. How are you feeling ahead of that one? Then obviously that's coming up Saturday. Are you confident? I've gone for a 3-1 England win in the prediction league. Are you as confident as me?
I think we can get a draw and then see what happens from there. I think there's enough about us, certainly. I'm a lot more confident than I was at the start of the tournament. We had, what do we have? We had that 0-0 against USA, and I think everybody lost their minds a bit. And I think that's comparable to our Friday night result with Town. I think people have lost their minds a bit with this, and I think we all need some level heads, and we just need to see the bigger picture. I think that was part of a group stage where nobody was perfect throughout the whole of it. And we are another team who are going against France, who weren't perfect as well, even though they made loads of changes. And I think we've got a good chance, and I'm really looking forward to it. So, yeah, I'll draw and then see what happens afterwards.
Yeah, we've got Philip Blundell says Portugal in the semi, so I imagine he thinks we're going to obviously beat France. Colin says 2-1 to England, and Josh Russell says 2-1 to England in the 90. Where are you watching the game? Are you going to watch it in a pub, around the friends, at home? Where are you watching it?
I ain't got a clue yet. I'm going out with a couple of mates for a pub crawl on Saturday, so that'll be post whatever Town's result is, and then we'll end up watching the game in a pub at home with a takeaway. I ain't got a clue yet, so looking forward to it either way. It should be all right. What about yourself? Where are you?
Don't know. I don't know. There's a couple of offers on the table. Obviously, Town are playing at lunchtime as well. As we know, we're here to talk about it right now. But not too sure. Remains to be seen. But I'm on a keto, so I mean it's going to be tap water for me, regardless. And I have to watch what I eat as well. So I can't really go for the takeaway option. Well, I can go for a kebab, I guess, minus the pita bread. But we'll see. Remains to be seen. But what I did find interesting, which you just did there, lost our minds a little bit how we did after Friday. So how did you see Friday's 1-1 before I ask you for the sort of the positive to take from it into the weekend? Because on Sunday's show, the last time we did a Talking Town fan platform show, I'd lost that head, so I'm intrigued to hear what you're going to bring to the party.
Yeah, I gave it a listen when I was on my walk the other day. Yeah. I was like, Martin's usually a bit more balanced than this, and I was surprised by it. But I was just like, I think some of the comments I've seen are just like, it was a bit more of a disaster than it was. I think the way I'm looking at it is in isolation. Yeah, that second half was crap. And I don't think anyone can get away with that. That was rubbish.
True.
The goal was lucky, but again, they deserved something based on their performance. So they got their luck and we didn't do enough. But if you look at the season in isolation, if we lose against Peterborough, which I don't think we will, if we lose against them, we are still on track for 2 points per game. And if we're on track for 2 points per game, we're getting promoted. So that's basically it. So we still have a buffer, which I see as a positive. The other teams aren't breaking away from us, which would be an area for concern, which it isn't because they aren't. Plymouth aren't breaking away, they're slipping. Wednesday haven't gotten above us. So I'm disappointed we're not further ahead, but I'm not overly worried because this is better than we've had in the 4 seasons we've had down here. And we've got January to come and we've got backing. So as long as we can keep in the top 2 and hang around, I think we will strengthen better than most teams. So that's where my optimism is. I think we're still on track. If we do get 2 points per game, then I think we all know that's promotion. So,
as Sean says, is it a one-off though? You know, when we go 2 up, Sean's still worried. It is a pattern. We are more. Well. We can't hold leads for long. Let's be honest. Let's put it into real terms.
We are struggling a little bit, but again, what's
that down to, do you think?
Injuries have played their part. Let's not get away from that. It's the central midfield is a bit of a problem. I think Sammy and Cameron have done really good. Sorry, the cat's plucking the carpet, so I should kick the cat away.
That's okay.
It's just lack of depth in central midfield, and that's kind of where we need our energy to kind of build, get forwards, and we're just lacking in that sense a little bit at the minute. So, that's my biggest concern at the minute, as well as a number 9, which I think we've touched on many a show. But I think we need a bit more drive and energy. We can't have players getting knackered over the next 3 or 4 weeks because some of these fixtures are big.
And they're going to come thick and fast, aren't they? That's the thing. With Christmas, it always happens, you know. And you mentioned the injuries. There are Harness, injury blow against Buxton. How much of a big miss was he Friday night, do you feel?
Yeah, I think he was. There are times when I think Portsmouth fans have kind of alluded to where he'll play in patches. He will be great some games and he will just be
I
anonymous
agree,
some
yeah.
games. But we've needed him when he's great. And yeah, we probably could have done with him in that game just as another option. We just lacked ideas, I think, in that game. We just didn't do enough. So we need options and we need them quickly. So I'm looking forward to seeing if McKenna can spring any surprises on us. I think we've touched on this before about knowing who's going to be coming back and when. We don't need to know until the match day's announced. We don't want to let opposition teams know who's fit, who's not. So I'm hoping we get some nice surprises coming up. That
do you subscribe to that? Do you subscribe to the old, the sportsmanship, the gamesmanship, where you keep the secrets guarded, like life or death, just to have that extra competitive advantage? Because not everyone believes in that sort of thing,
Oh, absolutely. No, I subscribe to it. It's great for fans and it's great for talking points for us right now. But I'd rather, as a club, we keep everything close to our hearts and we just don't tell anyone anything. I don't want anyone to have an advantage over us. And yeah, that's how I see it, to be honest.
I like it. Obviously, yeah, it's a big thing in some sports, particularly, with NFL, for example, with injury lists where they have to designate each player as full participant, limited participant, no participant, etc., etc. And not everyone believes in that it plays that much of a factor. Others do. He has blown hot and cold, Marcus Harris. That's the thing. I think you touched on it there. He has blown hot and cold, but when he's been hot, he's been red hot, and it's just another option, isn't it? That creative element, that attacking threat. It takes the pressure off Chaplin, Burns, etc. Because obviously, with Harness going down, it's got to be a little bit more pressure on Chaplin and Burns as the senior, but also Edwards stepping in. How did you feel he did Friday? Because I thought he did okay in patches.
Yeah, okay. It wasn't enough to break down Fleetwood, was it?
No,
it wasn't quite
true.
enough. I think Edwards has got a role to play. I just think we are showing a lack of depth in those number 10 roles, and John Jules never really got into his full stride before his injury. There were glimpses there where he looked really good in places, and I was quite excited to see how he developed with us. And it's a shame more than anything that we've not got that extra edge, like a slightly more taller physical player, a bit of flair about him, and we've lost that a little bit, which is a shame. But yeah, we need to strengthen in January, and there's kind of no getting away from that, is there?
Well, how do we strengthen in January? Because I think if you asked 5 different fans, you might get 2 or 3 same positions, but you'd get a different list of priorities as to how you address it and attack it. And obviously Ashton can do it all. But where were you sort of prioritizing at the moment as it stands on the 7th of December? Where you're looking, it might be players. I know Colin will probably be jumping up and down in the chat saying Johnson Clark Harris. We'll see him Saturday, obviously. Is it a striker you're prioritizing? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a midfield plan. Maybe it's I don't know. Where are you looking at? Because I'm seeing lots of comments in the chat about Luco coming back from injury. Great to get a body back, but I will put a but in there. It's a Luco. I have criticised him on the platform before. Great pro, can keep the ball well, but his stats are missing in terms of assists, goals. I'd have to look at his big chance creation to see if that was also missing or not. Is he the answer? Don't know. That's for you to tell me. But I would perhaps look at a midfield player. Do we need one? Not sure. But where are you looking?
Yeah, I'm ordering what Stephen Parry's ordering: central midfield, attacking midfielder, striker. We need those. So I think striker is imperative. We need a different option, someone who's going to bag the goals. And I know you asked me before, who might you like as a striker? Who's the option? I don't know. I've looked around loads of these leagues and I can't pick anyone. And I think it will be somebody who maybe we don't know and is off grid. And I can't pick a League Two, a League One striker that's probably right or realistic for us going forwards. People have talked about Johnson Clark Harris. We're not signing Johnson Clark Harris at all, unless it's the summer and we're in a different league. We're not signing him this season. I can't see a championship striker that might come down. I've looked in the Scottish leagues. I haven't got a clue. I think it'll be someone maybe we don't know, which is quite exciting. But then it comes to central midfield. Like, I think Rich touched on Brannigan the other day. I think he might be a good shout for us. Attacking mid. Again, don't know. But I think we need an extra body in there. Now John Jules has gone. We need central midfield. Now Don Ball's gone. So key areas that we're missing for the second half of the season, we've got to top them up.
Yeah. Johnson Clark-Harris seems... If you looked at all the options, you've really done well there, because you've nailed it pretty well in the sense that there's no one really that jumps out. Johnson Clark-Harris would probably be the cert, right? If you're looking at betting, as in, this is a guy who's going to come in and score goals. He's done it. We know he can do it. He's done it throughout his career at various levels. That's the cert. That's the almost. If you go and spend the money, then you know what you're getting. Everybody else, I feel, has got the potential to sort of be a Marmite figure with the fan base. Some will say, yeah, great signing, I think it's going to be really well for us. Others will say, yeah, but has he done it at this level? Or why is he stepping down? Or has he done this? Or how's the injury record look? Do you know what I mean? I think January particularly is that real muddy period of, unless they're red hot at the moment, and that's going to cost, a wedge, it's going to have that little bit of a, not too sure with some fans, which is only fair.
Yeah, and if we're investing money in these players, they've got to be with the championship in mind, I think.
Yeah.
Then it has to be, unless if we can't get that player, then it has to be a really smart loan signing with
certainly
option.
ROI, return of investment. If you're spending any money, it's got to be, can they get this just out of this division, which is worth, unless anything north of £7 million, can they return on it? Or are they going to step up from League Two and foul? Are they going to step from Scotland and foul? That ROI, because January is always inflated, always.
Yeah, and that's it. It's like that's why I can't see a permanent signing striker, and I'm sure there probably are, but I'm not a scout, and I just cannot see them from the leagues I'm looking at. But Johnson Clark-Harris would be everyone's ideal, I'm sure, but he's not coming. Excuse me, while I just get rid of the cat.
No, absolutely. I read a couple of comments where I think you're right. We'll see him obviously up close and personal this weekend, but it would take a lot for Posh, particularly Posh, that are wounded, as it were, in a league table that we're going to come to in a second. But
it's not going to happen. But no. I'm really.
What about Jack Marriott? Says Stephen Parry. Second, there's obviously, we'll say their second striker, but he scored 6 goals so far this year. Ex-Town player at Posh.
He won't get past the injury threshold for us. I don't think. I know we've got our own injuries at the minute, but he's not fit enough
to gamble
for us. Yeah, I don't think he'd be too much of a gamble. I know Collins was mentioned from Bristol Rovers again. Slightly shorter striker than we probably would want. We'd probably want someone. I don't know. He does bad goals. He does get assists. Ladapo's got some physicality, but I don't know if he's going to be right to play in that focal point for us. Yeah. The striker's really tricky, and good luck to Ashton and Co for having to deal with that.
This is it, because goals cost money, and money in January is always, as we said, inflated. And Aaron Collins, 25 years of age, he's got 10 goals this year. Now, obviously, last year he had 16 in League Two. He is currently the red hot player outside of Johnson Clark-Harris in the division. Giovanni Brown is on 9 with Exeter. Colby Bishop at Portsmouth on 9 with Portsmouth. Mehmete, who looked good on the TV for Wickham, which obviously gets a lot of fans then saying, oh, he looks great. How about him? He's got 8 so far this year. But I'm with you. Any way you shake it, it's always a gamble. Look at Paul Taylor. Not look at him as in quality, but look at him as in the transfer fee you paid, and in the first couple of games he breaks his foot, and his career stalls out from there at Ipswich Town Football Club. Any player you bring in has that potential to play 1 minute of football. You reach Le Pen to go further back, and the investment goes up in smoke. Lewis Quick says Clark-Harris would surely want to play in front of 25,000 each. Do you think it doesn't even get in front of him though, Tom? Do you think Peterborough, with such wise owners, shrewd owners, hard to negotiate owners, get the best deal for their football club owners, do you think it just doesn't really get past the how much do you want stage?
It's not happening. I've not been as confident in anything that Posh will not sell Clark-Harris to us. He might go to the Championship, but he's not coming to us. And I can't say more than that. He's not coming to us. I'd love it. I would love it, I will say, but he's not coming to us.
Okay. If Ipswich made an offer, he will push the moves. We are bigger than Peterborough. And he said inspired loan to get us over the line. Philip says just think Whittaker and Johnson Clark Harris. People are going to love and hate Johnson Clark Harris on Saturday because he's going to score. Just a question of how many. Kevin Keats, Stephen, he could be the missing part in our jigsaw. George says we'll win 2-0 at the weekend. Colin Plumpett, Premier United a tin pot and average at very best. They are. They hold the right.
No, they're not. And I get annoyed every time I see that appear on our feed. They are not tin pot.
Okay.
They've been in the Championship more recently than us. They are a very good League One team, and we are in the same league as them. We should treat them as such. They are not tin pot.
I like that. And I have to, compared to us, I'm always going to say every single team is tin pot, but I have to a little bit agree with you. I can't remember a time where we've beaten Peterborough, and that might be me forgetting a clear and obvious one. But this, and obviously for me, this game has a feeling of a 1-0 home defeat, Johnson Clark Harris penalty all over it. That's kind of what I'm used to seeing. I know Posh have won the last couple of occasions at Portman Road, as you say, being the Championship more recently. You got to respect what's in front of you, and we've got to show that respect. I am with you on that. Josh Russell, Marriott, not the answer for me, not a McKenna striker. Brandon Carter, good evening from Atlanta to Christmas do. Giovanni Brown, thank you very much. That's who he wants, Giovanni Brown. Philip Blundell, wouldn't be surprised if it was Giovanni Brown. I was disappointed with his Ipswich performance. AD, it's a shame we're having to delve into January transfer market. Always a struggle to get decent players available. Josh Russell, giving you the round of applause there for the comments, Tom. But how about a little bit of Santi in January? Is there any chance with a bit of Santi clause coming to town?
I'm not sure. I don't know what the deal is with this. He's gone to Turkey, isn't he? So I don't know what the deal is with his agreement there. It doesn't sound like it's going too well. I think he can play in the Championship. We know that, and he might be more willing to come. It's just whether we would be like, is that like long gone now? Is that relationship good? Is it not? Did we try to sign him? Did he not want to come? So we'll have to revisit that. I think he likes the club, but does he like us enough that we weren't his first choice over this Turkish club? So we'll have to wait and see if money talks. We'll have to see.
Money talks and bullshit walks. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Obviously, work permit. Scuppered his move to Stoke from memory.
Yeah, it scuppered it to anyone else in England apart from us. He could have come to us, but he didn't.
There you go.
For whatever reason, it might have come down to money.
We will never really know. But
I agree with Craig, by the way. Taylor would be a good signing. I like Taylor. Again, I think that's one for the division above.
At Peterborough, Jack Taylor.
Jack Taylor, yeah.
Yeah, midfield player. So, could easily fill that CM role. But they picked him up from Barnet in the year they got promoted. So there are players, particularly further back in the team, like say midfield player, attacking midfield player, left winger, right winger, anywhere else apart from a striker. You always feel more confident taking that gamble with a Jack Taylor from Barnet than you perhaps would say a centre forward from Barnet or anywhere in that little sort of level of football, because it's, can they step up? Can they make that? Because there's more expectation of them, isn't there? We saw that with Caden Jackson when he moved to us in the Championship. There's that expectation they're going to be the guy that gets the goals, and as we've seen with Ladapo this year, when the goals don't necessarily come straight away, the criticism comes, the pressure comes on themselves, etc. I don't envy strikers or goalkeepers, particularly strikers.
No, same.
Not one bit.
No, it's tough, but Taylor for me next season again. If we could raid them somehow for a couple of players, and him and Clark Harris would be the 2-1. But I just can't see them happening this season. As much as I would love it, I've spoken to you on WhatsApp about McAntony, and generally I think we know how much of a shrewd businessman he is. It just won't happen. But we'll see. We know they're good players.
Yeah. But he's a businessman, and there's always a deal to be made, is what businessmen always say. So watch this space. I'm with you. I don't think it will. Mike D, I'm in the shop. I'm getting a Morgan Rogers box of tricks, a Cameron Brannigan smart play, and some Callum Lang goals. I like that, Mike D. Great comment. McKenna isn't interested in any player who has any doubts about playing for us. Stephen Pam, still think Ladapo will get a 15, but we need another. When it all goes well, strikers love the glory of scoring. Absolutely. Callum Lang. Would you fancy him? Because Ben's backing up Mike D there.
Does he play for Wigan, or did he used to play for Wigan? I don't know enough about him to give a really good, reasonable comment. So I don't know.
Plays for Wigan. Yeah, good player.
How's he doing? I saw Keane's up on the scoring charts relatively for the champ at the minute, but
I've seen his name floated. Would you be interested in him? That's a no.
It comes to the long-term stuff, doesn't it? It's like, I know we've got a couple of experienced heads, a la Aluko, but it's like, for investment in a striker, you want resale value or someone who can step up to the next level. So, I don't know what Lang's doing in the Championship, so if somebody can inform us and tell us how good he might be, then great.
He's played 12 times, started 10, 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 key pass. He may have been injured. Obviously, that's not going to tell me on the stat sheet here, but yeah, 24 years of age, so he's still relatively young.
Yeah, it's a decent age. Like when we were, I think Giovanni Brown was mentioned earlier at Exeter, wasn't he? I think there's another guy here at Exeter called Sam Nombi. He's at Exeter. Yep. He's 23, 24, 8 goals, 6 assists. So if we're looking at that level, that's potential investment, for reinvestment value there. I don't know, again, enough about the player, but if we're looking at those things, we need to think about age as well as kind of what they bring, assists and goals wise. So
we do.
Yeah.
So time will tell. We'll wait to be seen. I'm sure it's not the first time or last time this topic will be spoken about and unpacked a little bit, and names added in and thrown out, and as injuries happen, etc., taken off or whatnot. But Peterborough is up next at the weekend. It's a 12:30 kickoff. What are your thoughts heading in then, Tom? Are you confident? Are you nervy? I'm not nervy as such. I'm just almost expectant that I can see how my day is going to go. I'm 33. I've been here before with big days of football. Town will fall flat on their face. England will fall flat on their face. And come after 12 at night, I want a kebab as bad as anything else, and the keto diet will be in the bin. That's normally how big days of football go. How are you feeling heading into Saturday?
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it one bit. I think they're a bogey team for us, and I've got a bit of a personal connection to Peterborough as well. That's where I grew up. My formative years were in Peterborough, so some of my best friends support the Posh. Okay. So that's where my family and friends are now. So that's it's a big one for me, this game. But we don't seem to do that well. I think 3-2 win Cresswell scored many, many years ago is probably the only win I've seen since I can remember against Posh. Otherwise, we've had some really bad losses against them, some okay draws. But yeah, I never look forward to it. But however, the form that Peterborough are in away from home, and it's the worst of the top half of the league at the minute, we've got a chance. I just hope the midfield can stand up and doesn't do what we did against Fleetwood, because if we get overrun by their 3, then I think that's where our problem is going to lie. So yeah, I'm just hoping we're up to it, we're energetic, and we get at them from the go, because we can score against them, and their defence does buckle a little bit recently. So there are reasons for optimism, which I'm happy about.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, recently you sent me through a link, a great read on the Peterborough Telegraph about obviously Darren McAnthony on his Hard Truth podcast, which, by the way, we were nominated up against in the FCA finalists for this year, which, is great going by all of us here. Round of applause. Self pat on the back, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, not overly happy as you can imagine, having been beaten by Barnsley. Big up David, €10 super sticker. Thank you very much. You can follow his great lead. All super chats read out, or hit the join button on YouTube. Become a Talking Town 5th standard today, or head to our Ko-Fi. So yeah, not all rosy in the Peterborough Garden, is it?
No, yeah, they do struggle away from home this season, which
they do. Great stats you sent through, but then Josh says this year's different. But then Old Town would have seen an away form like that and said, "Don't worry, lads, there's 3 points on you go."
Yeah, we would have lost.
Yeah,
but yeah. So I think there are reasons for optimism. I'm just hoping this McAnthony rocket that's been sent up in this week doesn't do the good thing. I hope it does the opposite and they get a bit flummoxed by it. But yeah, it's a little bit of rumblings in Peterborough at the minute. Probably they've been on a good run the past couple of years, so I don't know where that crest has gone and if it's on its way down. Yeah, I like them to do well as long as it's not at the expense of us. So we'll wait and see. But I just hope we get
Didn't he say we need to show some backbone,
yeah, spirit or whatever it is, like
balls? What was it? So show some something. This weekend at Ipswich.
But that's for the management team as well as the players. So he said that to everybody. But as he said on his podcast, he says it to their face. He doesn't say it on the podcast and doesn't say it to them. And I think that's what people like about him. He's very Marmite, but he's very transparent and he will say what he thinks to your face. He won't say it on the podcast and not to your face. So, yeah, I think massive kick up the arse for them lot this week. Whether they react to it, hope they don't. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll be watching probably from behind a cushion. But yeah.
I'll be there. So no such luck with the cushion. But yeah, I'll just be looking forward to anything but that 1-0 defeat that I've got visions of in my head. Tim Pot United says Colin doubling down on that. Ben Hobbs, Gov, sorry for being thick, was no carbohydrates, Ben. 20 grams of carbohydrates a day. Stephen Parry, no such thing as a bogey team. We play. Oh, what do you think of that? No such thing as a bogey team.
I do get it to an extent. Like,
I don't agree with it.
You play who you play and you can win, but it's just internally the reason I feel iffy about Peterborough is because we don't do well against them historically. So I haven't got anything to base on. Oh, yeah, we'll do well against them. But if we're looking at form right now, which we probably should do, then
we should win. But then we should have won Friday, and we should have beaten Lincoln, and we should have beaten Cheltenham, and we should have beaten Charlton when we're not once but twice leading by 2 goals. Football isn't always about form and psychological. That's what a bogey team is in my view. It's that psychological barrier of what's happened before. Might be a manager, might be a game, a venue. I mean, look at Watford. For many years, they were our bogey team in the Championship. Jim Magilton having a great season, unbeaten at home, if memory serves me correctly. Watford come down here, and who should beat us but Watford? Because of course it's Watford. They're a bogey team, but it's psychological, and if that wasn't a real part of sport and football, you wouldn't have psychology, coaches, managers, anything in that regard. It is a real aspect of the game. Of course, it is.
It sounds like we've got that at the minute as well, with Tom Brady's coach person coming in and offering
QB12, yeah,
all of that type of stuff. So hoping that pays off.
Or TB12, yeah. Sorry, QB12 is his position and his number, not his name and his number. My mistake.
Oh, it sounded like a shopping channel to me.
Yeah. Isn't that JVC? No. QVC. That's what it was, wasn't it? QVC. Yeah. So it was still going, Have I tried No, I haven't tried the keto bagels. Dried Paul Lambert's press conference and it cost more than Eureka Le Pen's leg. I liked Lambert. Can't really remember Le Pen, to be fair, so I'll let that one go. Tim Prey, bugger teams on the mind. Absolutely, that's it. None of these players have played Posh versus Ipswich. I'm sure some of them have. I'm sure some of the Peterborough United players have. Jack Taylor, for example, would have played.
Yeah, Posh players, Town players. Yeah, it's a good point. Can't remember. Yeah,
who was in the David Norris game? Game Jackson. He must have been.
David Norris game?
Yeah. Which one? Will Norris. Will Norris game. My mistake.
Oh, Will Norris.
Wrong Norris. Will Norris.
Yeah, I was behind that when that went in. I wasn't happy.
Yeah, I can imagine. Don't know what he was thinking there. Don't know what he was thinking at all. I'm not having the Tim Pot argument, John B. Not at all. I am with Tom on it. I don't think it's the correct, because it only bites you in the arse if you spend 20 minutes talking about why something is or isn't tin pot on the eve of playing them. My opinion. I might relent on it. I don't know. We'll see. Nick Miller, Oxford Magic Man of Ground, that was our bogey ground, never won there. The thing is, if they're tin pot and we're playing them on Saturday, aren't we a little bit tin pot at the moment ourselves to even be at this level? Playing Fleetwood, then Peterborough. We are where we are. Get ourselves out of here, and then we can turn around and say, "You're tin pot. You're tin pot. You're tin pot." I'm all for that. I'm all for that in bucket spades. Yes, remember the Lincoln show exactly. Say Lincoln, Tom. Say Lincoln. I could play against Lincoln tomorrow, and we're going to win.
No, we need a bit more respect on some of these teams in this league because we've fallen foul on some of these teams, and
I learned the hard way.
Yeah, definitely.
Those are my actual words. It's only Lincoln.
Yeah, and I'm going there in January, and I'm hoping we don't repeat that. I'm hoping we get that scrappy 1-0 win that we did when Cook got his very short-lived reign off to a start.
Only Lincoln. Josh Russell, if we're calling teams in the league tin pot, makes us tin pot in the same league. There you go. Yeah. Right. 1-11 for Saturday. Is there any big question marks from last Friday's home game to Saturday's lunchtime? Is there anybody you feel is at risk, injury, suspension, form, or otherwise? Obviously, just to remind you, I will run through our team from Friday. You probably know it already, but I'll just run through it just in case anyone has forgotten what the lineup was on Friday. Wilson, Donatian, Wolfenden, Burgess, Burns, Morsey, Humphreys, Davis, Chaplin, Edwards, and Ladapo. Is that how you feel we're going to line up Saturday, Tom? Or do you see anybody else coming in? If so, who, for where? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it's different to that. I think it will be the same. I just hope we've got options on the bench to help back it up. That's my biggest concern, is just hopefully we've got the options to change something when they come on. But I can't see that changing, to be honest, at the minute. It's
not many options to change it with, is there? You've got Edmondson, possible Wolfie or Burgess, or are you happy sticking with Wolfie and Burgess?
I think we're going to need Burgess certainly on Saturday, Friday. Yeah, it's Saturday lunch. I'm getting confused with all these changes. Saturday lunchtime, I think we need Burgess, particularly against Johnson Clark Harris. I think we need that physical element to it. Wolfie can do a job, but I think we need that extra physicality in the back three. So, yeah, I wouldn't change that.
Yeah, in terms of obviously, posh threats before we go into the midfield in a second here. Johnson Clark Harris is, their top goal scorer, 12 goals, got 3 assists. Talked about him in the last couple of weeks, including tonight on the platform. Is that how you stop? How do you stop Johnson Clark Harris?
Don't know.
What would you do? How would you employ your? Obviously, you've gone with Burgess and Wolfie there. Is it a size thing with Burgess? Is that how you nullify him? Is it, or is it a strength thing? And if it's a strength thing, are either one of those strong enough?
It wouldn't. I don't think it would be stopping him individually. It'd be stopping the service getting to him. It would be stopping the midfield creating anything, stopping Jack Taylor particularly creating anything. They've got backup. I think Fuchs is one of their 2 that might hold, but they'll just do the dirty work. Whereas Taylor's going to create. They've got Butler and Ward if they're fit.
Yeah, but Ward's their right winger, isn't he? Which for me is like putting their strength against my strength, because I rate Leif Davis against anybody.
Yeah, right wing back type thing. No, it depends if they play 4-3-3 or if they go for a 5. I think they'll probably go 4-3-3 based on stuff that I've seen. But yeah, if we can stop the delivery from the wide areas, and we've got a good chance there. But we just have to do it. We've got to be a bit more disciplined. Burns has got to be on it. He's got to make sure that, who was it? Butler, if he's playing, is doing, he's marking him out the game as well. They've got, who's the young lad that they've got who converted from left back to Harrison Burrows. He's a good player as well. He was good in the championship. He could play left wing back. He can play midfield. So we've just got to work out some of these particular players. But as a collective team, I think we can do that. And we've got enough about us to nullify him. But we just got to be on it. We've got to attack them quickly. We've got to get on the front foot, and we can't sit on a 1-0 lead. If we get that, we have to go for it, which is, I think, what we're all crying out for at the minute, is just put the game to bed.
Yeah, we just don't take your foot off the pedal, as it were. I mean, it's League One, as Mike said. It's not Haaland, absolutely not Haaland, but every player is going to get his League One level. But it's just a case of how can you limit those chances from, say, 5 in a game to 1 in a game, and hope that he's not on it that day. Only a couple of likes, apparently calling it ADA. Come on, get liking, people. It costs you absolutely nothing. It's the thumbs up button on YouTube. It costs you absolutely nothing whether you're watching live or on catch up. Hit the thumbs up. But yeah, I quite like, obviously Ward is their top assists. He's got 5 assists and 2 goals. Joe Ward, he's playing right side. Anybody against Leif Davis, I have to be honest, I would rate my guy Leif Davis every single time. So I'm not too I'm looking forward to seeing how that battle goes down, to be fair, to be honest. But Johnson, Clark, Harris, Ward, a couple of other names you've mentioned there. Mike, on a serious note, we need a formation change at home. One up front is hurting us. Do you agree with that? One up front? I mean, it's tough because, you got one up front, but you are playing with 3 behind very closely. And it's modern football. Show me a team that plays with more than one up front these days. They're in the minority, I feel.
Yeah, I think we'll see something like that from Posh, to be honest. They've got Clark Harris, but they've got 2 wide players who are going to be nippy and attacking in that sense. But for us at the minute, I would say, I think Mike brought it up on Sunday's show, didn't he? But it's just the case of who would be that second striker. And I don't think at the minute we've got that. It won't be Ladapo and Hadmi. It won't be Ladapo and Jackson.
I nearly threw some armbands. He looked that lost at one point. He said, because there isn't anybody else really, is there? That's why we were talking about a striker early in the show, because if you're playing 2 up front, who is it going to be?
It's not. Yeah, it's just that case of who would it be with what we've got now. It's like, I'm not against the idea. I think we should be flexible where we need to be, and there should be hopefully an option to do that once players are fit or we've got extra signings. But just at the minute, I just can't see who it would be. So that's my only concern.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, do we need to learn how to break teams down? Teams know how to set up against us now. Mr. E, not sure what that's about. Colin says, Peterborough United turned pro 59, 60, 25 seasons in 4th tier, 30 seasons in 3rd tier, 5 seasons in 2nd tier. And a partridge in a pear tree. Never been in the top flight ever. 57 seasons in the bottom 2 divisions. And we play them Saturday. Ballant had me, says Mike D.
Oh.
This Badger played in the Championship, to be fair. But Hadme's not yet, from my knowledge, played a minute in the Championship. He might have done for Norwich. I might be wrong with that, but I don't think he has. Someone will let me know in the chat. They're very helpful like that. But Joe, this is why I was a little bit frustrated on Sunday, because if you had done, and obviously ifs are always big words, but if you had done the things you should have done against Fleetwood, Cheltenham, Lincoln, 1 or maybe 2 of the 3, doesn't really matter. You could have maybe been a little bit more patient with this game, in the sense of let it develop, let it unfold, and let the game come to you. Let Posh, who are under pressure and fighting to stay in the top 6, have to maybe think about being the ones that stick or twist. Do we twist here? Do we stick here? Whereas I feel actually this Saturday, because of those results, we have to be the team that goes chasing a little, and we always should do it at Portman Road, of course, but chasing and really on that front foot. And when we get that first goal, then we have to be on that front foot again, and just sort of really not cavalier, but not gung ho either, but really front foot, forward facing. And people will say we should do that, of course, but that's not how we've played previously, and it's equally not how football works. Normally, teams go goal up, maybe 2 goals up, and they dig in, they step back, they allow it to you come and see if you can test us now and break us. But I think after recent weeks, we kind of need that performance to go with those points, do you think?
Yeah, we do, and we do need that cavalier approach. I think one thing that's good about Peterborough coming to town is they're not going to sit back and play for a point. That's not in their nature. It never has been. It never will be. And there'll be space in this game. So it's a case of who exploits it better, I think. And if we can play our top game and they're giving us loads of space to run into and create chances, not sitting behind the ball, I think that's where we're going to get what we need. And they're not going to be like a Fleetwood or a Lincoln, and they're not going to frustrate the hell out of us. I think they might frustrate us by scoring a few, but they won't by just blocking us the whole time. So I think that's where we need to be on the front foot. Just think Posh aren't a sit-back type of team. They're low on confidence at the minute away from home. There's your motivation.
Yeah, and I may have missed it, and if I have, apologies, Tom. Did you say the formation they might play?
4-3-3 is what they kind of do. Sometimes they sit with 2 holding with 3 behind the 1. But yeah, they're pretty much attack focused, as we all know they are. They always have been. So yeah, they're not scored as many goals as us, which I'm surprised about because you associate goals with Peterborough. But
sure,
yeah, they've got enough. They're just on a bad run. So we need to make sure that they stay on that bad run.
Absolutely. And okay, we're going to look at the score prediction in just a second. First of all, we're going to put our jukebox entrance forward. We've got Andy Barrell, came back on his team, need to earn their crust this window. Lewis O'Connor, no excuses. If you're on track for automatic promotion, get a couple of lads back from injury and we'll win this league. Stephen Parry, reasons are not excuses. We had no depth on the bench. Remember, Chaplin as a sub. Aki winning the game. Like the Fisherman promotion winning teams win their home games and grab what they can from away from home. Yeah, but if you reverse that, Mike, just to take your argument and turn it around, you're saying you win your home games, you take what you can away. Well, if we're winning the majority of our away games because we're first in that away table and we're taking what we can from the home, isn't that the sum of the same parts? So, win the home, take what you can away. But we're kind of doing it, win away, take what you can at home. Not great for the paying faithful at home, but equally it works out the same, Tom.
Yeah, and it's something I just touched on earlier, but it's like when we start slipping off this run of 2 points per game, which again is what we need to get promoted, then that's where you have a bit of air concern. Yeah, we could be 6 or 7 points better off right now, and it's really frustrating that we're not because we've been the masters of our own downfall in that sense, but nobody else has really stepped up massively. They're not taking that advantage. If we stick to this kind of rhythm that we've got, it's enough. And we need enough to get out this league. So, yeah, I'm going to look at the bigger picture. I will get annoyed at these results, but I'm going to look and see, are we on for 2 points per game? If we lose on Saturday, we still are. I won't be happy, but we still are. And that's where we need to be. Not where we want to be, but it's where we need to be at the minute.
That's what you're clinging yourself onto at the moment.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Chris Boyce, hopefully.
You've got to be. Yeah, it's December. It's Christmas time. Why not? Chris Boyce, don't know convinced that with all injuries we can break down a decent side when they come and park the bus. Craig, wouldn't be surprised at all if we get more points away from home this season. It's the way we are set up. It's a valid point, but our home form worries me. Well, at some point you have got to play a potential playoff semi-final at home if you're in the playoffs. So it is an important thing to have. You don't want to be dire at home, but equally with 5th, it's not where we want to be, but it's not the worst. It could be worse. I've not seen the home form table to see who else is around that area, but I'm sure Plymouth and Wednesday are probably fairly even on both. Is that fair to say, Mike? Let me know in the comments. So Prediction League, free to enter. Links in the chat. Get involved on that. So your song this week, please, Mr. Tom James. What is your song for the jukebox this week?
Am I allowed a Christmas song, or has it got to be all year round?
No. You can have a Christmas song if you want. It's Christmas time. Mistletoes and wine.
All right, Step Into Christmas, Elton John.
Oh, tune. That's a good tune, to be fair. Yeah, all right, we'll have that. I'm not even going to put one up against it and go straight in. Boom. Love that. Absolutely love it. Mike Fishman, players can do one. Well, the minimum? Really? All right, fair enough. Score predictions then, as we head into it. We are, just to let you know, currently scheduled to go live Friday at 8:45. But if the press conference stuff drops tomorrow across the interwebs, we will go live potentially tomorrow instead at 8:30 to avoid any potential crossover with the Argentina game. So just to clarify that, currently set as always to go live on Friday the 9th at 8:45. But if stuff drops tomorrow, and we will communicate this across our social media as well, so keep your eyes and ears peeled on that, and of course on the Discord for our Talking Town Fist Standards. How do you become a Talking Town Fist Standard, I hear you ask? Well, hit the join button or head to our Ko-Fi site, sign yourself up, $4.99 a month. We'll communicate on there as well, but we'll go live tomorrow night, 8:30. So one of the 2 days, there'll be another show, press conference reaction. Myself, Matt Phillips, maybe Rich, not quite sure at this moment in time, just to keep you up updated. So, score predictions. 3-2 says John. Yeah, they've been doing some press on a Thursday, I've noticed. So, Ben, just to chime in on your question there. So, if it drops like it has done a couple of times this year, then we'll do it. If it doesn't, then we won't. Simple as that. Simple as that. I've got no preference. I'm not going to be watching either the Argentina game anyway. Are you, Tom?
In what? Sorry.
Watching the Argentina game on Friday?
Argentina? No, I'm out. I won't be watching that.
I'm not watching it either, whether I'm here, there, or anywhere else. 3-2 says John B. 2-1 says Lewis. 4-1 says Craig. Like that. 4-4 says Dan. Poster scored 2 in injury time. Don't. My heart could not take that. Another derby result says Woody 1-0. What are you saying, Tom?
2-1 Town. Yeah, both teams will score, but I think we'll nick it 2-1.
Okay, all right. I'll save mine for the next one because I'm not quite sure yet. I think it'll be a 0-1 Johnson Clark Harris penalty, but I'm going to sleep on it a little bit longer and just see if that's not a general Wednesday midweek feeling. We'll see. But anyway, we're done. We're dusted. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Mike D, don't you want to listen to the commentary waxing lyric over Messi taking the corner? It's a tough one. No. Mike D, 4 years under Blurdy, trying to win the playoffs. Yeah, well, sorry, that's Mike Fishman, not Mike D. Sorry there, gentlemen. Right, we're done. Tom, thank you very much for your company this evening. It's a pleasure as always. Enjoy the England game, and hopefully you'll be watching that fully safe and snug on and loved up with the 3 points that Town deliver on Saturday. We'll see you all.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I thought went crazy from just the thought of you.